This is Darkman Doll, and welcome to Art Talk. Art Talk is a show that I do on Tuesdays, usually, to share with you the creativity that I bring forth to help inspire people to create. There's a lot of people that are afraid to still create art because they feel like they're not any good. They have to be like a professional artist who's been creating art for many years, but that's not the case. You can start creating art at any time. So today I'm going to share with you a project or a couple of projects I've been working on for quite a while, and then I'm going to share with you something that's still available on my Etsy shop and a piece that I'm going to put up on my Etsy shop once again. I'd like to tell you guys about these things, these projects that I put up on the Etsy shop, because a lot of people are asked about them, and they're like, well, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? So if you ever have a question about any item of art that I show on this channel, feel free to email me, and I have my email address in the description below. You can also check out my Etsy shop and contact me through Etsy if you like, and ask me questions further about each piece that you're interested in. So because a few people were interested in these bags, and I've been working on them diligently, consistently every day, little by little, as much time as I can carve out, because it's been really busy lately. I've been doing a lot of things lately. Busy summer, so I have a little bit of my tea here. Drinking black tea, if you're wondering. So without further ado, I'm going to come back and show you the two bags that I'm working on and the other projects that are available. One that is available on my Etsy shop, and one that will be available on my Etsy shop today. So I'll be right back. So I came back with the other items that I wanted to show you first. This one is someone mentioned when I showed this on the last video that I did about these bags that it would be perfect for their medicine, because they like to carry their medicine in a bag. And what better thing to carry your medicine in is something stylish and fun, and something that represents supporting cannabis partakers who are medical cannabis patients as well. That helps support them too. You don't have to be a medical cannabis patient to support medical cannabis patients. And do your research on it. So anyway, do your research on cannabis is what I mean. And you can check out my the Productive Cannabis Connoisseur YouTube channel, and I go into depth and detail about the benefits of cannabis for so many people, young and old. So you check that channel out. But here is what I've done lately on this purse. I kind of came in and did some extra stuff with the dolls, putting lace in there, fixing the shoes. It's all hand sewn, all hand embroidered. And then I came in with this one and tried to figure out if I wanted to do anything extra to this doll on there, but no. And then on the other side, this doll I decided to use kind of like a see-through type of fabric. It was from a recycled ribbon, because this fabric underneath, it was kind of looking kind of dingy. It wasn't dirty, it just looked kind of dingy, because I was experimenting with colored pencils on the fabric. But with that kind of fabric, it seemed like it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted. It looked kind of dirty looking. So I decided to put like a sheer fabric on top of it, so you can still see the design underneath. You still see the pot leaf and it says THC underneath. So I even thought about getting on top of there with embroidering more on top, but I think that's probably going too far, and I think it looks fine just as it is. But that's basically what I was concentrating the most on, was the dolls on this bag. So this bag is almost done. There's a lot of people anticipating it being finished because they like it. I know it's like I can't tell you exactly when it can be done, these projects, because they're not. Each bag is different, just put it that way, and each bag's going to take a different amount of time. And even if I'm working on it every day, it's still, you never know when it's going to be completed. So, and I'm sewing by hand, so it takes a lot longer than somebody is sewing with the sewing machine. But yeah, once it's done, you can put your medicine in there. This is about as far as it'll go. See where my hand is, because the dolls are patting it. but I'm really happy with how it's turning out, and this kind of artwork helps me relax and unwind, you know, with the busy days I've been having. So here's the next project that I've been working on that quite a few people seem to be interested in. It's just another doll purse or bag. You could call it a medicine bag. You could hold medicine in it. You could hold a lot more in this one than you can in the other one. This one's a lot bigger. Um, and I made a whole bunch of beads with pentagrams on it, and one has a monster face on it. The other ones are just regular old striped designs on it. I strung them on this stretchy cord so that the holes would stay enforced in there and that they won't like close up the holes. But these are some of the beads that I made, and I was thinking about incorporating them into this purse, into this bag. So what I did recently on this bag was I came in with some fabrics, recycled fabrics for this doll. Gave her a hat, a witchy hat. Gave her kind of like a lace stole. So, like I say, I'm gonna show better pictures on Instagram and Twitter, so you can check it out there and see more detail. But this is how this is coming along so far. I can't predict to you guys when things are done when I make these kind of projects, because I don't know when. But I work on them, and when they're done, they're done. I just don't want to send out shoddy work, where it's not sewn really well, reinforced, and everything like that. So just want to make sure that you get something that's going to last you for a while and doesn't fall apart automatically. So there it is. I like how this is turning out a lot. So yeah, and the other things that I wanted to show you was the fact that this is still on my Etsy shop. This guy here, and he's Voodoo inspired by the Gid. Read up about that. They're connected with Baron Samedi, and I used a recycled jug, Mod Podge jug that I washed out and everything for the body. As you can see, the handle is one of his arms. And I basically paper mached the stone head on, because this head is made from a stone I found at the ocean. And the hair is just recycled fibers that I found, and gave him a little bit of a fro. Looks like he's losing his hair a little bit. And I painted it with acrylic paints after I paper mached the whole bottle. I've got a bit of a snake design on there. And when I created this piece, I was outside living in a home that had a really nice huge backyard, so I was able to do a lot of these type of labor intensive mixed media projects a lot easier, because I had the space to be messy as I wanted to be. So this was a really fun project. I really got into it. A lot of the work that I create, it's created from a trance-like state, because I get in a really meditative, relaxed state, and it helps me to concentrate and focus in on the project in front of me. So yeah, so this guy is still on sale on my Etsy shop. He can be used as an altar piece. You put him on your altar, representing the Gid, representing the gods of Voodoo. The Loa is what they call the gods of Voodoo. Yeah, I feel like there's a big connection with me and Voodoo and Yoruba as far as my ancestors go. So that's what comes out when I create, organically, without a plan. This is what comes out. So yeah. So the other thing I wanted to show you, where is it? Okay, it's over here, is this doll. It's a repainted doll. I found a plastic doll at the thrift store years ago, and it was funny because the plastic doll had a cell phone with it. See, it's holding a cell phone, which you can't tell because the hair is in the way. But I braided all the hair. You see, it's all braided. I painted all the hair too, and I also added wings to this doll as well. See that, these wings? And I pretty much what I did was I painted the whole body of the doll red, and then came in with the design of the branches. on there. So yeah, it's a fun project. I like doing repainted dolls. This was labor intensive making this face because first of all, I glued on some, what did I glue in here? That's what I did. I used, no, I didn't do that. That was another project. But with this one, I glued like paper mache, made a nose to give it more definition. And that's what I like about paper mache, that you can do that. If you have a flat surface like a plastic doll and you want it to look more like three-dimensional, you can paper mache eyeballs and paper mache a nose, lips, or whatever in order to make it look less flat and more, as I said, three-dimensional. So this one is going back on to my Etsy shop. I love how this is braids. It's going to go into my Etsy shop, and you'll get a free gift with it as well. So it's definitely a labor of love. This one took a long time to create, basically because of all of this, you know, thick applications of paint, of acrylic paint over and over again, and letting it dry in between painting it. In the paper mache effect alone that I did with the nose took a while because I had to let that dry as well. So, but yeah, it was definitely a labor of love, and I really enjoyed it. And I just wanted to share with you guys all the creative energies that are coming through for me, so that it can inspire you to create as well, and to talk about how healing creating art can be, especially from recycled fabrics and materials that you find in everyday life. It can help you get out of the worst mood ever, and help you tap into why you were in a bad mood in the first place. Because a lot of people, they'll get in a bad mood, but they don't even know why they're in a bad mood, why they're angry. But when they sit down and do some artwork, it's like they're figuring out all these problems that they have that they couldn't beforehand because they were stressed out and really tense, and whatever else was going on with them in the day. So when you sit down and you create something, it's like meditation, because you can work through so many problems and understand why you reacted to what was before you. You know, the situations that happen in our lives can be very stressful and a lot of times traumatic. So if we don't, you know, deal with the trauma of the things that happen to us, then they just haunt us. But if we can find a way to express what happened and understand it, then we could gradually become healthier and healthier and move on to the next, instead of just going backwards and replaying traumatic events. I've been told that my artwork is very healing in that way. When people buy it, they say it feels healing and it helps them, you know, on their spiritual path, on their journey. So I hope that if you ever acquire any of my artwork, that it does that for you too. Whether I give it away or you buy it or whatever. And whenever you go to my Etsy shop, if you buy something from my shop, I give you a free handmade gift too. So, win-win. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for the likes and shares. And thank you for your kind comments. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you're doing to express your creativity and to help to heal yourself. And see if you're using any recycled fabrics or materials. So thank you for joining me. Brightest blessings to you all, and I'll see you soon.